Hi, I'm Jody from the WDRE News team. Today I'm interviewing Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
I'm going to ask her questions about the planning process. What did the school tell you they wanted in the mural?
Well, we went over a lot of different options. We talked about possibly doing mascot or something to do with the school and the wetland garden. And what we finally settled on was doing something that would be representative of the Fairfax City community. So we decided we wanted to include some of the historical buildings that you see in the mural. And we talked about specific ones. We have Old Town Hall in the courthouse building. And then we also wanted to make sure that we included the school and represented the school. So we painted the school in and also wanted to feature the wetland garden that you guys have in your behind the school. So that's painted in along with the students working outside.
That's cool. So you went for more of a community aspect.
Yeah.
How many sketches or revisions did you do until the final?
I think we went through 3 different revisions and we finally settled on this one.
That's cool how you did only 3 tries to get the final. Did you plan to add any Pacific people outside of school?
We really didn't. We wanted it to kind of have more of a broad appeal to everybody so that everybody could look at it and kind of maybe see themselves in it. So we know that we wanted to include people of different ages and children of all different sizes so that everybody could look and maybe see themselves.
So you did a general idea of people of all different ages.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for telling us all about the planning process.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie from the WDRI News team interviewing Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you some questions about the creative process. How did you choose your color palette?
Well, we really wanted to make sure that we were as realistic as we could be with some of the buildings and things that we were painting. So it started off by putting all the, natural colors that you would see, the color of the library and stuff. One of the decisions that we did make, though, halfway through was to include some different colors in the trees. We originally started with all green trees, and it kind of ended up looking a little bit too green. So some of the trees and things that we chose that were natives of the Virginia area, we ended up punching up with some colors to make it a little bit bright and a little bit more appealing. So the red maple that you see in front of the school started off green, but it ended up getting red just to kind of show off some of its features. And then down there, you'll see in the other side of the, we have a chestnut oak, which we thought would look really pretty if we added some yellow. So it changed a little bit, but I think for the better.
Were the colors of the trees in one of the earlier sketches or revisions?
Yes, we had them all green initially, and then we decided to put in some red so that you knew it was a red maple and some yellow so that we knew it was a chestnut oak. It made it a little bit easier to identify the actual trees. And I
so
think
a little
colors
bit
are better too.
So a little bit like fall colors?
Yeah, some of them were fall. And then some of the trees that we thought would be better depicted in spring, we actually changed those a little bit and brought out their spring color. So it's a little bit of a mix of seasons, but that way everything kind of is shown in its best light, and the colors make it a little bit more fun too.
Did you plan while you were did your plan change while you're creating the mural?
Yeah, the colors changed. That was something that I mentioned, but we also had to change the perspective of some of the buildings a little bit. If anybody had seen it originally, I actually had the front door of the building right around here, and then when I stepped back and looked at it, I realized that we had a little bit more space than I initially thought, so I had to move the door down and change the location of some of the buildings. But what ended up working out was that we were able to include a couple more people and a couple more things to make it a little bit more fun and add a couple design elements in there. So.
Cool. How did you go from the very small sketch or revision to the whole wall?
Well, that's kind of a tricky thing about murals. It's one of the things that I had to learn kind of through, through trial and error. But I've been doing it a long time. And usually what we do when I start off with a small sketch is I'll break it up into different sections. And it's called a grid transfer process. Some of you guys might be learning about it in art class. But what we do is I start off by dividing it in half vertically and then horizontally. And I can break the design up into different segments. And then from looking at that, I can see what elements belong, for example, on the left side, and what belongs on the right side of the design, what belongs on the top, what belongs on the bottom, and break it into smaller pieces so that I can easily get that up onto a bigger scale on the wall.
We're doing scientific notation in math class. Did you ever have to use it while you're expanding the size of things?
Yes, absolutely. I have to use math and measurement as well as my artistic ability. So it definitely comes in handy for doing this kind of stuff.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'm Ellie with the WDRE News Team, and today I'm going to be interviewing Jenny with students' questions. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Okay, here's the first question. When did you first start doing art/painting?
I've been drawing and painting since I was in elementary school, actually. And one of my first things that I did when I was very young was take some Saturday morning art classes. My art teacher in elementary school thought that I had some potential, and so I signed up to do this art class, and from then on I was in love with art, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, I do these little Sunday art classes too sometimes.
Oh, you could do it.
Yeah. What inspired you to become an artist?
Well, I always liked drawing and painting, as I mentioned, since I was very young, but I took a trip, I remember when I was in 7th grade, to the Museum of Modern Art in New York. And it was the first time I'd ever been to a big museum, because I'm from Ohio. We don't have a lot of big museums like they do in D.C. So I'd really never been exposed before to art like that. And I went to New York with my dad, and I got to see a Van Gogh painting in real life, Starry Night. And it really just was such an amazing experience when I saw it in person, and it really transformed my life, and I really knew from then on that I wanted to paint. So I've been doing it since.
It seems like art has a really big impact on your life.
It really does.
Did you train or take classes to become a muralist?
I did end up going to art school after I graduated from high school. I had applied to a bunch of different colleges, but in the end I decided that I wanted to go to school specifically for art. So I went to a college called the Columbus College of Art and Design, and it's in Ohio, where I'm from. And I originally started off doing graphic design, but I decided I didn't really want to do that, and I switched to fine art, and so I've been doing that ever since. I didn't ever take any specific classes for murals, although they did offer it at my school. I never really thought that that would be something that I would do. But then after I graduated, I was looking for something to do with my talent and ability as an artist, and it just something that kind of grew naturally.
It must have been nice to have your college so close to home.
It was really nice, and it saved me a lot of money. I got to stay with my parents my first year, so I didn't have to pay for housing.
How long have you been painting?
I think I've been painting since that first Saturday morning art class. I learned how to first mix my own colors and really learn how to shade objects and stuff like that. And to see it done by a professional artist, with the classes were taught by professional artists, was really cool for me. And I remember being really inspired, thinking that they were very, cool to have a real artist teaching us. And so I got to learn a lot of stuff from them, and I've been really doing it since then.
That's awesome. Every time I try to mix colors, it kind of turns out brown.
Oh.
Do you ever mix paints to make certain colors?
Yes, a lot. Paints normally come in the primary and secondary colors, so just red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. But as you can see from looking at this, there's a lot of in-between colors. So I do have to mix colors frequently to get just the right shade of things. And sometimes I even mix it right on the wall while I'm painting.
Okay. What other schools have you been painting at?
Well, I've actually had a busy summer doing a lot of schools in Fairfax County. I did Union Mill Elementary School was my last project. I did Brookfield Elementary School and Colin Powell Elementary School. And then I've also done some down in Prince William County, Antietam, Ashland, and Rosa Parks.
You've been doing a lot of painting. What is your favorite thing to paint?
Probably people. I actually love, when I was in school and college, we did a portrait class, and I got to really focus on learning how to paint people's faces. In this one, I've kind of done them a little bit more cartoony, just to be, more appealing. But I often do people's portraits for myself for fun, and that's really what I like painting the most.
I love drawing people, but I don't think I could paint people.
I'm sure you could with practice.
Yeah. Thank you so much for painting our mural and answering our questions.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.